What's going on, Chargers fans? Chargers Now is presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Will Ortner. And over the offseason, it feels like we didn't get a ton of news around Akheem Mesidor. And I thought it'd be fun to kind of go through what the ESPN article about all first-round draft picks had to say on a lot of the top draft picks in the NFL, specifically what they had to say on Mesidor with the Los Angeles Chargers. And then let's go through some quotes, because Mesidor is someone who is going to need to instantly add into this team in Los Angeles and be a major player in this next upcoming season. Does that mean he has to be a starter? No, not necessarily, but his presence certainly needs to be felt if a lot of Chargers fans, myself included, are going to feel strong about him being added to this team. And I'll tell you right now, the quotes are really backing up what I was saying right after Mesidor got drafted to this Chargers team. If you want Akheem Mesidor to win the Rookie Defensive Player of the Year award in the 2026 NFL season, go down below and hit the thumbs up button on today's video. Like the video. Let's manifest it. Let's get into a little bit of that manifest destiny. ESPN's Chris Rim had this to say on Akheem Mesidor, and it really kicks off a large run of quotes that we're going to be talking about on today's show. There isn't much an evaluation on offensive and defensive lineman players during this part of the season without pads, a point both coordinators have repeatedly made when asked about the Chargers' top picks. Still, coaches and players have raved about Mesidor's quickness and maturity. He's a pro, pass rusher Tuli Tupulotu said. He comes out early in practice, he gets his routine going, and he hasn't missed a routine yet. That's something that I watch. Mesidor has been great in LA as much as you can judge a lineman, whether offensive or defensive lineman, through this offseason. He's someone that shows up every single day. He's working. He put his best foot forward. And I think that is something that's really important to dissect when you look at the type of player that Mesidor is. A big knock against Mesidor was that he was not going to be young coming in to his rookie season, so he couldn't be drafted that high. And I had the argument, well, yes, he can still be drafted high. That is a future problem when you want to deal with his second contract. But the expectation is that he should come in and already act like a pro, because he's, well, much more of an adult than, say, a 21-year-old would be. And it certainly sounds like, from everything that we're hearing from Chris Rim and now defensive coordinator Chris O'Leary, that is exactly the type of foot forward that Mesidor has put. Essentially, he's a pro walking into the building. Chris O'Leary said his professionalism has stood out. It's what we thought we drafted him. He operates like a pro. He's detailed. He's consistent. He's mature. All of those things stand out, and then when he gets on the field, he's got a unique skill set. Like his pass rush ability, his hands, his technique. It's something that we're excited to see pads come on and get to work. Now, there's a large reason why he was drafted out of Miami. I got to see him in person at the Cotton Bowl, and Mesidor, I'm telling you right now, he popped off of the field. That game against Ohio State was not won by the Miami Hurricanes. That game was won by Akheem Mesidor and Rueben Bain, and they are lucky, the fans of the U, that those two players played on their team and not Ohio State. Mesidor was absolutely fantastic last year. And it wasn't just that he was good in the Cotton Bowl. He was good all year long. Having 63 tackles from an edge position is stupid. Almost 20 TFLs, double-digit sack totals. His pressure rate was off the charts. His forced fumble number is huge. Akheem Mesidor was everything that the Miami Hurricanes wanted, and he is going to be just like that with the Los Angeles Chargers. He's fast enough that he could play on the edge. If you need to bounce him inside, he is big enough to be able to do that as well. I expect Mesidor to have a strong season. Did you expect Akheem Mesidor to have such a strong offseason for this Chargers team? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. For me, I'm going down typing my Ys for yes. This was an easy yes. When I got to see him in person, it really stood out just how talented he is and the different playmaking abilities that he's going to have from that edge rusher position. Make sure that you're sounding off in that comment section. And while you continue to go down there and leave your entire thoughts, make sure that you listen to the rest of today's show. Before we get into that, though, I need to let you know that today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 sports picks app. It is the best place to win cash while watching sports. With the baseball season in full swing, there's no better time to cash in with our friends at PrizePicks. And I'll tell you this, the app is really easy to use. To qualify for a PrizePicks lineup, pick 2 to 6 players and select more or less on stat projections, including hits, home runs, and strikeouts. One thing I love is the new social feeds feature where you can share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. You can actually follow me on the app at BigWill7774 to see all of my lineups. I have a lineup for the football action going on later on this year. Quentin Johnston, more on his receiving TDs. Kenyon Sadiq, more on his receiving TDs. Jackson Smith and Jigba, more on his receiving TDs. New user offer. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with PrizePicks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and description. Guess what? We're going to have a lot more praise for Akheem Mesidor on this show because we're really breaking down everything that he is and can be. And frankly, I think you are going to absolutely love everything that he has been so far. We're going to look at what Mike Elston has to say on the top draft pick for the Los Angeles Chargers in the 2026 season. He's an incredible talent. We will utilize him to the fullest, and that might be moving him inside in situations like we do with Thule, whatever's best for the team. He's like Nick Barnett. He can take a lot of information and process it. The sky's the limit for that young man, and I think he can help us inside and outside. Certainly, that's Chris O'Leary's decision, where he plays and all that stuff, and Coach Harbaugh's decision. But if we get a chance to work with him on the inside, he'd be a great addition in there too, and in some passing situations. When we look at the depth of this Chargers team, I will say that the edge rusher position certainly is one that feels like it has a good chunk of talent at. But what will be interesting to see is exactly how much time is Mesidor going to get. Now, Khalil Mack, I don't want to sit here and say that he's old and washed, but he is long in the tooth. So is this a position where Mesidor, he gets to get a few more snaps as the season goes on, game by game, so that Khalil Mack can be as well rested and as healthy as he can possibly be going into the postseason? Obviously, there's going to be a position battle kind of for that last little edge rusher spot. Be interesting to see who ends up fulfilling it. Mesidor will obviously not be battling for that spot. He's someone that's probably the third edge rusher for this Chargers team, but I'm telling you right now, I certainly like the position that Mesidor is in. Who will have the best season for this Chargers defense? Let us know down below in the comment section. Is it going to be someone in the secondary? Is it going to be a linebacker? Could it even potentially be someone on the defensive line? I think that Akheem Mesidor is in the running. Now, if you're strictly going by a tackles perspective or a sack perspective, that might be a bit bold. But when Mesidor is out on the field, he is certainly not going to be the focus of the offensive line that he's going against. That should lead to more one-on-one matchups. He's got more one-on-one matchups. Well, shoot, maybe this kid's going to be able to get home a lot more than we previously thought. Now, it's great that the coaches are saying nice things about you. It's great that ESPN is saying nice things about you. What do your teammates say about you? Well, here's what Khalil Mack had to say on Akheem Mesidor. And I think it really just shows how much the team trusts him. Watching him and Rueben Bain on the other side was impressive, lights out. Mack talking, of course, about the Miami Hurricanes. Hell of a player, and him coming on the field and wanting to get to work in the first day and just seeing how eager he is and the question he asked so far. He's polished. You could tell he's ready. He's got that attitude like he's ready to come in right away and play. This is why they drafted Akheem Mesidor. One, you're getting a top 10 talent, but later on in the draft because he's someone who, well, had a bugaboo against him. The bugaboo is that he's a little bit older. You drafted Akheem Mesidor so he could step on the field and instantly impact this team while still also being on the time frame of what the Chargers are, which is a team that can win right now, but also could win 4 or 5 years down the road. To me, this is why you drafted Mesidor. Now, it is early. You haven't gotten to see him in pads. That's important to remember. Believe it or not, it's not 7-on-7, and just because you're able to run away with guys when you don't have pads on doesn't mean that you'll be able to run away from them when you do have pads on. But for everything that Akheem Mesidor was going to be asked to accomplish, from everything that Akheem Mesidor was going to be asked to show on the field, from everything that Akheem Mesidor was going to be asked during this offseason to do, I think that he did it. I think he passes that test with flying colors. When you got coaches, when you got media, and when you have players that are all singing your praises, Well, that means you're doing a lot of things right. And I love that for the Los Angeles Chargers. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We're going to have content out every single day, sometimes twice daily. You certainly do not want to miss out on any of that content. We have a lot of fun doing it here, me and producer Searle. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Go tell someone that you love them. And as always, bolt up.